This video is supported by TBC Live. Check out the TBC Live on the App Store or the Google Play Store. It's an app to enjoy NRL with friends while the game is going. You comment what's going to happen next, and you thumbs up and thumbs down if you disagree or agree with people. There's great rewards to win every week, and your favourite content creators, including me, are on the app. So check out TBC Live today. Guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Last week was a phenomenal week of tipping. 6 out of 7. That Warriors game was the one I got wrong, and man, Chanel Harris-Tavita, he has been copping it, the poor bugger. Unfortunately, the Warriors going down by 2 points there to the Raiders. Every other game I got right, and a couple of margins like the Cowboys game, which was 50-50, I got close. We're going to be speaking about round 21, which is also Deadpool and Wolverine release week. So I'm really excited this week, even though Parramatta are playing the Melbourne Storm first versus second last. But last week for try scorers, we did really well. Brandon Piakura anytime, Jason Saab anytime, and we cashed at Helam Lukey, first try scorer, a really good pick there at about $19, and we had under 45 points in the Cowboys and Bulldogs. Bang, let's get into NRL round 21. Game number 1 starts on Friday. No Thursday night game this week. Again, it is Friday night, 6 p.m. It's the Warriors and the West Tigers. Now, as for the Tigers, lots of outs for this one. Adam Dewey, Aiden Caesar, David Clemmer, John Bateman. What is going on there? Apparently, John Bateman has left the Tigers for the year, gone over on a loan to England, and will be back at the Tigers next season. Really interesting news coming out there if that's true. As for the Warriors, Tane Tuapiki and Adam Pompey out. So coming in, looks like a debut for Moala, Graham Tafua, and Roger Tuivasa-Sheck moving to the fullback position for this side. As for the bench, Tavaga, Halasima, Freddie Lussick, Jackson Ford, bench for the Tigers. So Talon De Silva, so obviously Apikoris back, Alex Seyfarth, Fainu, and Alex Twal for this one. So, the Tigers have been putting up some points against teams, haven't they? 28 points, I think it was against the Storm. 28 points as well, I think, against the Rabbitohs. So, yeah, they're scoring a high tally of points, whereas the Warriors, I don't know, man. I don't know what's happened to the Warriors, but I said they wouldn't play finals this year, and I think they're in a position to miss out. So, look, in front of the home fans, they should get a nice win here over the West Tigers. The Tigers, for mine, have been gritty and fighting, though, so I think this game will be closer than people think. I am going to take the Warriors to win the game. I'm going to go Warriors by 8 points. I just think that the Warriors are going to get it done in front of their home crowd, but the Tigers have shown me enough grit that they can be competitive in this one. So Warriors to win 26 points to 18 in a bit of a high-scoring game. And I will go with the debutant. I'll go Moala, Graham Tafua to score the first try of the game. The Warriors to beat the Tigers. Next up, do I even want to talk about this game? It is the Melbourne Storm coming to CommBank to play the Parramatta Eels. And before you ask, no, I won't be there. Unfortunately, I'm not going to this game. I just think right now, I just don't want to be there. I am going to Parramatta Penrith. I am going to Parramatta Dragons. I'm going to try and get to the Roosters and the Eels as well. There are a few vlogs coming out, so don't think I've dropped off for the year. But no, I will not be at this game. Jake Tungo is on the wing once again, with Lorenzo Mulatalo being overlooked for this game. Centres of Blaze Talangi and Will Penasini has been named in jersey 4. So is he shifting sides? I don't know what is going on there. This team is such a mess right now, and I just don't get excited right now. Dylan Brown and Dejan Arce in the half. Woodamoo Greg named in jersey number 10 in the absence of Junior Barlow. And Charlie Geimer obviously gone for the season, as well as Moses. Ryan Madison at lock. Bench is Joey Lussick, Joe Offahengawi, Luke Moretti, and Makatoa. So Matt Arthur has been overlooked, as well as Matt Dury. I got no words for that team, man. I do not like the look of that team at all. Come out and surprise me, boys. I love his to death. come out and surprise me against Melbourne, because I guarantee you we're not winning this game. Joe Chan and Alec McDonald out for the Melbourne Storm. Tepai Moroa, the former Eel, named on the reserves. Maybe he could face his old club. But for the Storm, Tyrone Wishart and Jerome Hughes in the halves. Grant Anderson named on the wing, but there could be some changes there with, Falugo on the bench might come into the wing for the absence of Anderson. And then Cameron Munster named in jersey 20. I expect him to be back. I'm surprised he's not in jersey number 6. Short and sweet for you guys. I'm not tipping Parramatta here. I haven't tipped Parramatta for a while, but I don't think this is a game we win at all. And I think they put a score on us. They often do. I know we can be competitive at CommBank, but their defense isn't great, so that's where we could score some points. I don't see a massive amount of points coming from Parramatta from this team, though. Parramatta 14, the Melbourne Storm 36. The Melbourne Storm to win by 22 points. Nothing more to say. First try scorer, I'll go Eli Katoa. I think he'll be running at that left edge defense of Parramatta. I think he'll probably score a double. Eli Katoa to score. And I think that's enough about talking about this game. Next up at 3 o'clock on Saturday at Suncorp Stadium, it is the Brisbane Broncos and the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. Now, as for the Broncos, full strength team, because Selwyn Cobbo is back. He's been named on the wing and Mariner named in the centre. So it'll be interesting to see if they stick with that combination all year. Mariners look very good at centre. As for the Bulldogs, Chris Patello named as an out for this one. Bench of Haywood, Hopoi, Moran, Hayes. Bench for the Broncos is Willison, Tapau, Tyson Smoothie and Blake Mosa for the side. Kobe Hetherington named in the back row as well for the Brisbane Broncos. A nice win for the Broncos against the Newcastle Knights, but the Newcastle Knights, they couldn't tackle. As for the as for the Bulldogs, they weren't able to get the chockies against the Cowboys. I did predict that. I have been high on the Bulldogs and their defence against team. I just thought they would do a loss. Now they go up to a Brisbane side that seems to, in a lot of people's opinion, have hit that form. Adam Reynolds being back is such a big inclusion in front of a home crowd. The Broncos, every game is kind of a must-win situation to just make finals at this stage. And the Bulldogs obviously sitting at a decent spot on the ladder, but they won't want to let that slip away. Bulldogs win this. I'm telling you now, Bulldogs are $3. The Bulldogs' defence is better than people think. I really do think that the Dogs have what it takes to contain the Brisbane Broncos. I know the Broncos are at home. The Doggies have surprised a few teams this year, and I just think that the Broncos are not back just yet. The Knights missed 42 tackles at halftime last week. So for mine, the Knights were just that bad. The Broncos weren't that good. So, Bulldogs by 2. Bulldogs 18. Broncos 16. Low scoring. The Bulldogs need to get their attack right, but their defense, man, is something else. They kept the Cowboys to only 20 points on their home turf as well, and even the referees came out and said that they got a call wrong, which I didn't really agree with in the moment. But anyway, I think that the Broncos will score first. I'm going to go Selwyn Cobbo on the wing. Trustworthy try scorer. Selwyn Cobbo, first try scorer. Doggies for the upset here. The next game sees the North Queensland Cowboys taking on the Cronulla Sharks at Townsville. Now, the record at Townsville has been poor this year. Now they get a win against the Bulldogs. They're starting to get a little bit better, the Cowboys. As for this game, Murray Taulagi has been named on the reserve, so he's probably a chance of coming in. Jackson Purdue named in the centres with Viliami Viella. So I'm guessing Jackson Purdue might be an out. And Murray Taulagi, maybe Holmes shifts to the centres and Murray Taulagi to the wing. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. Liam Eisen has been named at fullback for the Cronulla Sharks. The halves of Daniel Atkinson and Braden Trindle for this one. Bench is Talakai, Hazelton, Rudolph and Hamlin-Ueli. So really big body bench there for the Sharks. And then for the Cowboys, Sam McIntyre, Harrison Edwards, Griffin Neame and Finu Fuaki. So both teams have big benches there, and obviously Will Kennedy, he's serving his suspension, so he's out this one. Sharks have had a massive record, especially recently over the Cowboys. In recent years, they've been, had the wood over them. The Cowboys seem to pop up a couple of times and beat them. And, no Nico Hines, it seems like one of those times where the Cowboys can do it. So, the Sharks, they're fresh off a bye. The Cowboys had a bit of a tough game last week. They are in front of their home faithful again. And I think the Cowboys you know, even though the Sharks are in third and have been losing a lot of games, this game feels more important than the Cowboys to secure a final spot with the roster they have. I think I'm going to go the Sharks. I think that the record that they've had this year hasn't been too bad. I think that they aren't pretenders, and I've been saying this for a while now. I thought that they've had some games that they've really let slip away, but when they're on, they are on. And I think that they have had a great record against the Cowboys. I think the players are going to know that, and they're going to get the upset win here. So give me the Sharks to win by 6. This should be a low-scoring one as well. I will go the Sharks 20, the Cowboys 14. Pretty much the same score, I think, as the Bulldogs-Cowboys game this week. I'm going to go rough. I'm going to go Royce Hunt to score the first try of the match for this one. Sharks front rowers, one of them's going to score a try. I'm going Royce Hunt to score a try, and the Sharks to get the win here. Next up from Allianz on Saturday at 7:30, the Sydney Roosters will host the Manly Sea Eagles 4th versus 5th. This is an important clash for both of these sides, with Manly still in the hunt for a top 4 spot and the Roosters not wanting to lose their spot. Still no Joseph Manu. Lehigh Hopewade out for the Sea Eagle. So it's Ben Trebojevic in the centres for this one, and then Waddell and Lawton in the back row. Bench of Nathan Brown, Sipley, Bullymore and Chan Kum Tong. As for the Roosters, Sandon Smith named on the bench. I think it's his first game back in a while, but I could be wrong. I think he played last week actually. Nafua White, Nat Butcher and Terrell May as well. So nice looking bench there for the Sydney Roosters with Leniu and Collins as the starting front rowers. The Roosters were awful against Melbourne. I did tip Melbourne by 6 points. I expected them to win at Amy Park, but the Roosters went in as massive favourites and Melbourne were paying $2.20. I don't know what was going on there. I thought it was going to be a closer contest, but the Roosters' attack was awful, man. As for Manly, they've been travelling along nicely. They've been, you know, they've got that win last week against the Gold Coast Titans, where they seem to be slow starters and then they get the job done. So Manly's going to be right up for this one, and I can see an upset here, but I think the Roosters at Allianz should be too good. I think they'll be pretty filthy with the way they lost last week. So I don't expect the Roosters to win 13 plus. I'll go the Roosters by 12. Roosters 28 points to 16. I do think this game could be a lot closer than the score I've predicted, but the Roosters for mine should be too good for Manly. I'm going to go James Tedesco at Allianz. He's going to be the first try scorer pick for mine. Next up, it is the St. George Illawarra Dragons at Wynn Stadium taking on the Penrith Panthers. Now the Panthers, what a comeback against the Dolphins, and the Iceman in Golden Point in his return, Nathan Cleary. Look at the side they've got this week. Brian To'o's back. Jerome Luai's back, Liam Martin's back, Isaiah Yo's back. This is a big looking Penrith team. Lots of ins this week. Paul Alamotti is out with an injury. Jesse Marshke is out, and Ben Hunt and Lomax are back for the Dragons, as well as Raymond Faitala-Mariner. Michaeli Ravalawa has been named on the reserves for this one. Wing of Zach Lomax and Tui Polotu. So yeah, Ravalawa missing out against the Penrith Panthers here. This should be a Panthers 13 plus win, but the Dragons just seem to be playing good football this season. They are so unpredictable. Sometimes they can be awful and sometimes they can be great. And they're fresh. They're coming off a bye. The Panthers will win. I'll tell you that much. The Panthers will win. This is a very hard line to pick. The line is currently 9.5. And I think that Penrith may just cover that line. But if it goes to 10.5, I don't trust the 10.5. So give me Penrith by 10. 26 points to 16, because the Dragons all year have been putting up some points. So Penrith by 10. First try scorer. Let's go Casey McLean. Casey McLean to score the first try of the game in the Panthers left centres. And yeah, I think the Panthers will be too good for this one. But the Dragons beat them earlier in the year. Let's see if they can beat them at full strength. Next up, it is the Dolphins taking on the Titans. And I look at this game and it makes me think of a 40-24 kind of scoreline. But I never predict those type of scorelines, so they just kind of happen. As for the Dolphins, Tessie New named on the reserves with Anthony Milford. So no changes to Wayne Bennett's men. Trey Fuller, interesting, has been named in jersey number 17. I think it's a big inclusion, keeping Trey in that side via the bench. Just like the Storm, if Munster comes back, I think Wishart deserves to be in that 14 role. As for the Gold Coast Titans, they look unchanged as well. Still no AJ Brimson, which is a big out for them. A poor performance, unfortunately, against the Manly Seagulls. They got off to a really good start and they ended up losing that game by 30 points, which was not expected. As for the Dolphins, you know, they led the Penrith Panthers. They led them. They let it back in. They leaked a lot of points against the Rabbitohs, but were able to get a home win. So they've been travelling along nicely and still sitting within the top 8 for this one. I feel like this is a Titans upset kind of game. I feel like people won't pick the Titans here, but they will win. I just think without Brimson that I don't think they can do it. I can see it happening, but I'm going to go the Dolphins. I'm going to play it safe per se. I think that the Dolphins will win this game by 8 points. As I said, this could be a 20-40 kind of scoreline, but I think the Dolphins win 24 points to 16. There's a world where I see the Titans absolutely pulling off an upset here, because they have been playing pretty good football and maybe last week was just a hiccup. And first try scorer, I'm going to go the Hammer. I know it's a safe and easy pick, but Hammer so Tabuai Fidel to score the first try of the game. The final game of the week, we'll see the Canberra Raiders take on the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Here it is, Jack Whiten returning to Canberra. This is going to be a massive game. Richie Kenner is out for this one. Michael Cheekham has been named in the centres. In the back row, Tallis Duncan and Jacob Hope. Cameron Murray still unfortunately suspended. And that looks to be the only change for these sides. As for the Raiders, very lucky to get that win against the Warriors based off goal kicking last week, even though they did lead it for majority of the game. And South Sydney, I was at that game. They leaked a lot of points in that game, but were able to get the victory. But I guess worrying signs for their defence. And the Raiders, man, if it gets cold, drop balls, they can turn points and get a win here. I feel like this will be high scoring. I just have a feeling, I know it's going to be cold in Canberra, and I bloody hate this 6 o'clock time slot on a Sunday. But with Fogarty, they did look like a great team. South still missing Latrell, but Jack Whiten playing well. Walker playing well. Murray's a big loss. Souths have been playing better football. The Raiders are getting to a desperate point of the season. This is a very important game for Canberra, whereas the Rabbitohs, I don't think they'll be playing finals. Give me the Rabbitohs to win. Give me the Rabbitohs by 1. Give me a Jack Whiten field goal. Give me a bloody story narrative. Rabbitohs 21, Canberra Raiders 20. It doesn't go to Golden Point, but Jack Whiten sinks the Raiders by 1 point. I just have a feeling that the Raiders will strike first. First try scorer, Hudson Young in this one. He's been in phenomenal form, and I think that South Sydney might just get them. That's it for the video, guys. Let me know your tips in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you've been enjoying the current content on the channel. I'll be putting up a video about 2024 Elite with the checklist coming out. Tomorrow night, I'll be watching Deadpool and Wolverine at a premiere, and then I'll be doing an out-of-theatre reaction for you guys. As I said, Eels, Panthers next week. There will be a game day vlog. Oh no, sorry, that's not next week. That's the week after. There is a vlog next week. I'll make an announcement about what that one is very, very soon. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. At 5,000 subscribers, I will give away an NRL membership. Make sure you check out TBC Live, link in the description as well. Predict footy with your mates, and then you can potentially win some money. So it's a ton of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys later.